You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. The final week of the regular season brings us to Salt Lake City for the final home game of the year for the Utah Utes. It is senior night. 6 players honored after what has been a tumultuous last week since the firing of head coach Craig Smith. The opponent, the West Virginia team, hoping for one more win to truly lock down an NCAA tournament bid. These teams are tied for 9th in the league at the moment. The top 8 teams, remember, earn a first-round bye in next week's Big 12 tournament. And hi there and welcome courtside along with former UAB and Stanford head coach Jared Haas. I'm Ted Emmerich. And Jared, big game for both, but let's start with West Virginia. They have the look of a tournament team. Joe Lunardi certainly says as much, but coming off that destruction against BYU on Saturday, they could really use a win here tonight.
Absolutely, an important game like you said. It all starts at the point with Javon Small, an elite scorer, but more importantly, a dynamic, true point guard, almost 6 assists per game. On the defensive end is great guarding the basketball, so he'll be fun to watch. And on the Utah side, Gabe Madsen, shooter extraordinaire. When he steps on the floor, he's in range. Tonight we have the privilege of watching 2 of the best guards in this league.
Now Madsen, his twin brother Mason, in the starting lineup along with 3 of the other seniors. Yes, an all-senior starting lineup for Utah. Tony Padilla, Antonio Petty, and Rick Crawford, the officials. We'll see if Lawson Lovering can win the tip. They worked on a tip play at shoot-around today that ended with a Lovering lob, and Lovering at 7-1 does win the tip. And here it is, and it's deflected by Sincere Harris. West Virginia, one of the best defensive teams in the country, sniffs it out.
Well, nothing is easy, and it was a well-designed play, but at the end of the day, the athleticism, the instincts shut it down.
Harris, one of the best on-ball defenders, and he's able to keep up there in the paint with Lovering. West Virginia asks so much of Javon Small night in and night out, and Small banks it in to start tonight.
Well, they do rely on him, and for good reason, and the ability he has to produce night in, night out is really amazing. That's a tough shot to get started.
It is just the 5th time this season that the Madsen twins are starting a game together, and all those times have come this year, of course. Mason transferring from Boston College to play with his brother at the end of his college career, and Utah turns it over for the 2nd straight time. Darren DeVries, year 1 with the Mountaineers. He admitted, Jared, earlier today that the lack of depth is starting to catch up to his team right now.
Yeah, they've had a couple injuries we know we'll continue to talk about, but the depth in this conference, depth is important everywhere, but in this conference with the quality of opponents, when you don't have 9 or 10 to be able to go to, it makes it a lot harder.
And you lose Tucker DeVries, his son, like they did, just 8 games in, not to mention not having Jaden Stone all year. You see the result on the floor. Harris misses the 3. Offensive board, Amani Hansberry, and the foul is called. Well, one of the great storylines tonight. It is ironic, it is surreal. Josh Eilert, the interim head coach, his 3rd game since Craig Smith was fired last Monday. He is an interim coach for the 2nd straight year, Jared, and now facing the team he led with that title a year ago, but there are no hard feelings at all on either side.
No, and it's great. Great people are involved. It's just a tough, tough situation. He has such a great demeanor and a great mindset going in, but needless to say, it is a unique situation.
Utah comes up with the steal, and Mason Madsen. Utah fresh off a 99-73 win over Arizona State on Saturday, and Gabe Madsen knocks down career 3-pointer number 301.
Gabe Madsen, he's as good as anybody in the country at moving without the basketball, and maybe the best player at moving without the basketball. Right there, did a great job with his steps to get open, and he doesn't need much space.
Small finds Hansberry inside, missed everything, got it back, missed it again, and Hunter Erickson clears. Just his 2nd start of the year. Erickson launches the 3, and he drills it.
And when you start all seniors like that, you know, it's something that can truly give the team a spark, and that's the kind of 3-point shot to get you going that can really feed to the rest of the team.
Josh Eilert broke shoot-around this afternoon by saying, seniors, you are going to set the tone tonight. We are going to go as you go. He's so proud that they have not checked out since their head coach was fired last week. Small, tough shot. He makes tough shots look awfully easy.
I mean, it's amazing. He's such like a true point guard, but at the end of the day, he is a shot maker, and he can make those tough ones.
Lovering finds Gabe Madsen. And Madsen with the turnaround inside the arc.
Not an easy shot of his own. It started with a great cut to go back door and then created a shot for himself.
Gabe Madsen averaging a career high 15 points a game this year. He has improved every year in college as O'Connor misses for West Virginia. Madsen had it stripped. Third Utah turnover. Such a key against West Virginia and their ball pressure. Sincere Harris was too strong with it, but it's tapped out to O'Connor. O'Connor got past Lovering to lay it in.
Really a great first step to get to the paint right there. Utah, #1 key to the game is ball security. They have to be able to get shots themselves because live ball turnovers can turn into points in a hurry for West Virginia.
Austin Lovering with some space. He missed the dunk. Whistle blows, though. And a foul against O'Connor. Timeout here on Utah Senior Night.
Gabe Madsen moving without the basketball. Unbelievable at changing speed, changing direction. Starts with a three-point shot, creates his own shot, scores from 3, scores from 2. Depth of West Virginia is a little bit challenging. If you can get that by, it makes a big difference to start the game, or to start the tournament.
Utah up 8-6 coming out of the first time out. Toby O'Connor picked up the foul against Lawson Lovering, who steps to the line, who struggles, well documented, just a 40% free throw shooter. A senior from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, the anchor of the defense for Utah, Josh Eiler said earlier today, Jared, just his high IQ, his no-nonsense demeanor, that's what he has appreciated the most during Lovering's senior season.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. He understands the game, to protect the rim some. And that size inside, it allows you to cover up some mistakes if they happen to happen with the other players.
Missed them both. Small has a couple of buckets early for West Virginia. Second leading scorer in the Big 12 behind Keyshawn Hall of UCF. Trying a three. And Gabe Madsen pulls in the rebound. Wanted the foul on Eduardo Andre. No whistle. Mason Madsen finds his twin brother, and he's got another three. Twin magic for the Utes.
It's amazing how quickly he gets his shots off. Obviously, the connection between brothers right there and the instincts and knowing when your other teammate is open, but the shot to get up so quickly is amazing.
And Jared, West Virginia defended Gabe Madsen so well in the first meeting 24 days ago, held Madsen to 7 points. He was just 1 of 5 from downtown. West Virginia turns it over. Ezra Asar on the floor now. He's been so good the last 5 games for the Utes. And Mason Madsen puts it in the basket.
It's the kind of offensive start that Utah needed to have. And I think as the half goes on, as the game goes on, it's going to be interesting the matchups that West Virginia puts on everybody, but especially Gabe Madsen.
Utah started 5 of 5 from the floor. Freshman Jonathan Powell, in and out.
West Virginia's missed a couple threes, and I think if they can get a couple threes down early, it changes their whole offensive game plan, and it opens everything up.
Lovering with the push shot. Oh, an air ball. Man, pulled the string there. Well, you're right. Those three-pointers, if West Virginia can just get a 1 or 2 here, it opens up space for Javon Small. Foul called on the drive.
Yeah, the spacing becomes such a big part of it. If obviously Small spreads it out for everyone, but if a couple of Harris, Connie, if they can make a couple of threes early, it starts to spread everybody else out.
Now, Small's development just remarkable. The first 2 years at East Carolina, last year was one of the best in the league at Oklahoma State, team that certainly struggled in Mike Boynton's final year, and this year putting himself in the conversation for Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, statistically, it's just been amazing. He does it all, and he has such a great demeanor about him.
KJ Tenner, the freshman backup point guard, draws the foul.
Wallin just a step late, doesn't go straight vertical, puts him on the line.
Place Tenner hasn't been to all that often this year. 10 of 16 on the season. Was Tennessee's Mr. Basketball in Class 4A last year at Cordova High School in Memphis. And getting a little more time here close to the end of the season, especially after worked up through an injury early in conference play. So Erickson takes the seat, and Mike Sharafjamps comes in, the starter usually for Utah at point guard.
Yeah, and starting the seniors just worked out beautifully for Utah. With a big lead to start the game right now, gave them the energy and the start they really dreamed of.
Sharafjamps, 6'9", from Mongolia, defended by Javon Small. Lovering against Andre. Loose ball, and it'll stay at this end.
Scouting report driven. They're playing off Lovering, and I like what he's doing. He's attacking the rim. He's going to need to continue to do that. Otherwise, you're just playing 5-on-4.
Gabe Madsen stepped on the sideline right in front of the West Virginia bench. It's the 4th turnover for Utah.
At this point, the sideline's about all that has stopped Gabe Madsen. And you're right, the turnovers, they're shooting the ball well, but the turnovers have been a problem to start the game, and they're going to have to rectify that.
Joseph Yesufu has given West Virginia a spark at times off the bench. Turnover by the Mountaineers. Here's Jake Wallin. Lovering kickball.
Down on the defensive end, Wallin really did a nice job with his getting in the gap and then using his length to get that deflection right there. And he does have great length.
Wallin, a few of the players that you recruited at one time when you were at Stanford. You know him well.
I know him well. I know this. A lot of this Utah team. It's really good pieces. They have the pieces to be able to go on a run, a March run.
Sharafjamps thought about it. Gabe Madsen, no second thought. His 3rd triple.
He came to senior night. He is ready. And these shots, they put different players on him already. Tenner was there, but without the size, not able to challenge the shot.
He's got 11 of the Utes' 16 points. Tenner late in the shot clock. Harris the floater. Wallin on the move. Lovering leaves it for Madsen. Short this time. And controlled by Andre.
Harris was on Madsen that time. Maybe a little bit of extra length challenges that shot, but Madsen, I think, is really feeling tonight. He's going to continue to be aggressive.
West Virginia started 3 of 11. They haven't hit a shot in 4 minutes. Andre backing down Lovering. That doesn't drop. Boy, this can happen to this West Virginia team, these cold spells, and it's come early in the game.
It really has, and they're going to need to find a way to get some easy baskets. Maybe the free throw line, maybe in transition, but there's going to have to be something other than just five offensive players going head-to-head against 5 defensive players. They got to get out in transition.
Of course, Javon Small's off the floor right now. 4 to shoot. Assar on the attack as usual, and he draws the foul. That happens quite a bit. Assar, one of the best at getting to the line in the Big 12. Timeout.
Gabe Madsen continued his heat check. Great job moving without the basketball. Fading away. He's feeling it early.
That Gabe Madsen will not soon forget. The senior night ceremony before tip-off. Madsen, 5th year of college basketball, 4th year at Utah, and he has come out of the gates hot.
We've talked about it. He moves so well without the basketball, and he's so strong with his lower body that even when he's, moving, fading away, he still has the ability that is controlled and on balance, and it's really a lesson for any young player trying to watch the game. It's moving without the basketball, but when you shoot it, it's getting your feet under you and having great balance. And he's really good at that.
First year at Cincinnati, played a couple of games. In the last 4 years at Utah, who spends 4 years at one school anymore? Gabe Madsen does.
And it's just a good thing. It's good for him. It's good for the program. It's great for the fans. It's good for college basketball. And as you mentioned, it doesn't happen often anymore.
Gabe Madsen with a breather now, and Ezra Ausar at the line. Just 62% on the year, but much better over the last few weeks. As he hits the first, he's averaging 19 points and 6 rebounds the last 5, Jared, well above his season averages, and he's shooting 79% at the line in that stretch.
Yeah, doing a great job scoring inside and out. But if Utah right now, they're 80%, they're 4 or 5 from the three-point line, which is going to extend West Virginia's defense, which is going to give Ausar more and more opportunities around the rim.
Remember, Javon Small at the first bucket of the game. Utah on an extended 18-5 run since then. Pass inside, Oconee in too deep. Small is back on the floor for West Virginia. Harris, oh, that layup goes back in. Sometimes it just feels like there's a lid on the bucket for West Virginia. Ausar in deep, and he draws another foul.
Just stayed with it. Small made a really good defensive play, not fouling and almost getting a jump ball, but Ausar, as you said, stuck with it, got in there, getting to the free throw line again.
Fouls on Harris this time, his first. Now, Josh Eiler told us earlier today, Jared, that Ausar is just forcing the issue at the rim. He's playing to his strengths. Yeah, 6'8", big body. He'd love to show that he's got the skill on the perimeter, and that's coming. But right now, do what you do best, and that is attack.
And that's what coaches preach all the time. Play to your strengths. And we're seeing this in this last couple possessions of getting to the rim, and he is a load down there when he does that.
Fun game for Ausar and Javon Small, teammates a couple of years ago at East Carolina. And you see Ausar's tracking Small up the floor. Eilert said he would put Ausar on Small at times. He feels like Ausar can stick with him. We'll see.
And with Small, I think, giving him different looks can be really important, and guarding him with size, which they have right now.
Oh, Small on the cut, got past Zach Keller for the layup.
Small says, I don't care if you put size, small guys, quick guys, tall guys, I'm going to find a way to get to that basket.
Small has 6 of the Mountaineers' 9. That ends what was a 3+ minute scoring drought for West Virginia. Wally in the pocket pass. Ausar left it short. And gathered by West Virginia and Hansberry.
West Virginia has such active hands. They're great job in position, but once they're there, they're great active hands.
Hansberry driving the closeout. He lays it in with a foul. Boy, big time move from Amani Hansberry.
Small right here going back door, understanding has the foot speed to be able to get there, and then great control to finish. And Hansberry right here, first step, goes right by to the rim, gets the and one, smooth as can be.
And what did Darren DeVries say earlier today, Jared? Amani Hansberry is the key to everything for this team this month. He has to produce alongside Javon Small.
Absolutely, and if they get some secondary players really rolling, and especially from the three-point line, but if you can get complementary players playing at a high level, it will just unleash Small even more.
Sharp jumps, misfires on the 3. In transition, 3 ball from Jonathan Powell goes down. Beg your pardon, Joseph Yesufu drills it for West Virginia, and a timeout for Utah as the Mountaineers pull to within 5.
And this was not a turnover, but it was a long rebound, and those long rebounds can turn into fast break points as well. I like the fact that West Virginia is looking to push the pace a little bit because half-court offense has been a struggle.
And Yesufu is more than capable, again, as one of those secondary scores that West Virginia is looking for. So we take a look, Jared, at the resume. And again, Joe Lunardi has them solidly in, closer to a 9 seed than being left out of the tournament. We know how weak the bubble is. Listen, is the record pretty? Of course not. But the strength of schedule, the quality wins that are on the schedule for West Virginia, that will be a separator come Selection Sunday.
Well, they want to, bolster it with some more wins moving forward. But the reality is, you can point to holes in their resume, but if you start comparing it to other teams that may be on the bubble, I think it's a no-brainer that they're going to be in the tournament.
DeVries said earlier today, I would love just one more this week so I can sleep at night. He hopes that it comes tonight on the road. This would be a quad one win, the 6th of the season.
Well, the reality is he can win them both. He's still not going to sleep at night. That's the life of a coach. But needless to say, that life gets a lot easier going to the tournament with wins.
You speaking from experience?
Yes, unfortunately.
Keller. And the rebound for West Virginia. Mountaineers on a 7-0 run. Small finds Hansberry. Too strong.
Really a good shot. Small pushing in transition. I really like West Virginia trying to push in transition right now.
Keanu Dawes. Asar battling for the rebound. And a foul called on Asar. That's his second.
Utah's starting to tempt fate a little bit right now. West Virginia leads the league in three-point defense percentage at 29%. And yes, they started out on fire making 4 or 5, but they're starting to settle from the three-point line. And history says that is not a recipe for success against this West Virginia team.
Yeah, the hot start from Gabe Madsen, who is 3 of 4, but you're right, West Virginia also top 10 in the country. He is small, misses the dunk. Boy, he was hoping for a foul. And no whistle there.
They're face guarding Small, and he's done a nice job multiple times going back door and getting good looks.
Dawes blocked and ripped away by Sincere Harris. Numbers for West Virginia. Yesufu finds Small.
Really unselfish play by Yesufu. You just are not going to get a better look for Small than that. He knows it. My guess is if he gets that opportunity again, it's going to go down.
I almost feel like that's kind of how West Virginia has to score consistently off the defense and in a broken floor the other way. Asar misses the 3.
You're exactly right. They understand that. West Virginia, again, is trying to push it transition, trying to break down that defense. So the strength is not just the set plays. It's going to be attacking broken defenses.
Harris left wide open for good reason this season. And Harris off the mark, just 12% from downtown.
And as you see, Utah scouting report driven. They're not going to go pressure. They're going to dare him to shoot that.
And an offensive foul called against Utah and Lovering, sending us to the official timeout. So a bit of a ragged stretch. Utah up 5, though. Lake City, Jared, you touched on it. West Virginia, elite defensively. Here are some of the numbers in the Big 12. They're also 15th in the country in defensive rating, according to Ken Palm. What makes them so good as you study them?
Well, I think number one is ball pressure. Their guards really get into the offensive player, make it difficult, take you out of rhythm. So I think that's where it starts. But overall, they have great quickness, they have great athleticism, and honestly, they just play really hard.
And you were saying earlier today, it's so impressive that no matter what happens at the offensive end, if they struggle or if they don't, that doesn't impact the effort at the other end.
Well, and I think that starts with great coaching, because human nature, when you're struggling on one end and you can still bring it on the defensive end, that says a lot about the culture and the coaching.
West Virginia has scored 7 unanswered. Let's cover the last 3 minutes of the game. Andre going to work, 5 to shoot. Tenor regains it against the taller Dawes. Nice footwork, but missed everything.
In the half-court settings, West Virginia is just not comfortable right now.
Gabe Madsen off target. Utah started tonight 6 of 8 from the floor. They're 0 for their last 8.
They've also missed their last 5 threes. They can't fall in love with the three-point shot. They have to try to get that ball inside to the paint some.
Oh, and Andre threw it away. Pass just offline, looking for Tenor.
Lovering and Madsen really aggressive on the ball screen, icing it on the side, sending it towards the baseline. And so Small made the right pass. And then Andre just needs to take one more second, gather himself, and make the appropriate play.
Utah has not scored in 4.5 minutes. West Virginia hasn't scored in the last 3. Tenor comes up with the steal. The kick, Yesufu, not this time.
At times, Utah's point guard by committee. You know, and when that happens, you have a lot of different people being the decision makers, and that's when turnovers can happen.
This time, Miro Little drawing the foul. And Little's playing time has dwindled the last couple of games. Just 4 minutes Saturday against Arizona State. Talented sophomore from Finland, transferred from Baylor. Foul was on Tenor, his first. 14th foul. Madsen got loose.
That's a good way of saying it. Got loose. Really good screens. It almost turned into a scrum on the sideline over there, and he popped out wide open.
Powell catch and shoot. He drills it. No freshman in the Big 12 has made more threes this year than Jonathan Powell. Finally, a team gets it to go in the basket.
You know, Madsen's last 2 missed threes were pretty wide open, and sometimes that's even harder for him when it's open looks. He's so used to being pressured.
Oh, Madsen finding Lovering for the slam.
And the score becomes the assist. I mean, that's a great pass, and I love Lovering going right out the front of the rim.
So both teams ending their droughts in a big way. That ended, it was a 10-0 run by West Virginia. Six to shoot for O'Connor against Keanu Dawes. Lost the handle. Little all the way to the cup, he tosses it in. And a timeout for Darren DeVries in West Virginia.
Gabe Madsen with the ball in his hands a lot. We've talked about moving without the basketball. Putting the ball on the ground, looking for his shot, drawing 2. Excellent pass to Lovering. Lovering doesn't mess around on this. I like this. It's just straight to the front of the rim. No jump hooks, nothing else. Just go, be physical, and finish. And Little, you know, he's probably the truest point guard on the team. I talked about by committee, but if he can make plays in the open court and give him some minutes, that point guard position for Utah is really a vital one.
Would anyone guess that Utah leads the Big 12 in assists per game? That is the case. And we just saw the example of the ball movement, how good it can be for Utah.
Well, it's pretty cool. They have a team that shares the basketball, and they have 18 assists per game. And, you know, without a point guard that has 8 assists a game, it's a team-oriented concept. I like the coaching. I like what they're trying to do offensively. They're really good at screening and moving without the basketball. And the only thing they need to make sure is they keep the turnovers down against a team that is going to pressure like the West Virginia team.
Utah still engaged, even though their head coach, Craig Smith, was fired last Monday. Josh Eilert finished shoot-around today by saying, you want to worry about your future? The future is tonight. Let's lock in again. Doing a great job. Let's keep it going. Yesufu with the floater for the Mountaineers.
Both teams are starting to get a little bit better flow of the game. You know, it was a little herky-jerky there when the great start by Utah, but both teams, I feel like, are settling in a little bit.
Little facing a lot of contact. Gabe Madsen to the rim, blocked by Andre, but a foul. It's Andre's first.
Gabe Madsen draws so much attention. A lot of times if he can go backdoor like that, you know, his strength is obviously the three-point shooting, but he really can complement that. We've seen that with fadeaways about 12, 15 feet and attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line.
Gabe Madsen graduated last spring with his degree in sociology, now getting his psychology certificate. His 5th year of college, 4th year at Utah. And cherishing every moment, of course, this year with his twin brother Mason, finally reunited after Mason's time at Cincinnati and Boston College. And they're on the floor together here. doubled. Inside it goes, and O'Connie pays it off.
Just too deep a position right there. And Lovering gave in a little bit, allowed the deep post, and there's nobody in this league that isn't going to score it when they're that deep.
Tie up. And West Virginia has the arrow. Timeout. Utah by 4. Darren DeVries' team showing some life on the road, hoping to split in the Beehive State. 5 for Utah tonight on their senior night. Mason Madsen finding his twin brother Gabe for one of his 3 triples here in the first half. It has been an odyssey for the Madsen twins. Born in Wisconsin, moved to Minnesota where they finished high school. They actually spent a year in China when they were kids, when their parents worked overseas. But this has been such a special season, finally on the court together in college, with Mason transferring here to Utah from Boston College. And forget stepbrothers when you've got the twin brothers in Gabe and Mason. And Jared, they've had so much room for activities this year.
Oh, it's been great, and you can genuinely tell how much they're enjoying it. They enjoy each other's company. Obviously, the clip we saw, they have great cohesiveness on the court, which you would expect. But the biggest thing in my takeaway is they're really having fun with this.
Gabe and Mason have both talked about the little moments this year, just the car rides every day, being in each other's presence. That has not been the case the last several years. 3 ball goes down for Amani Hansberry. So important for West Virginia. And the Mountaineers cut it to 1.
They're getting a little more comfortable on the offensive end. Small making a really nice decision off 2 feet in the paint. Great assist.
Mason Madsen lets it fly. Loose ball, foul called. And against Hansberry. His second. One more puts Utah into the bonus.
These out of bounds plays. Keep an eye on Madsen and Madsen. Really, you're probably going to see some kind of curl situations. The big setting good physical screens, but a lot of counters to it. But a lot of times, these guys are coming off screens. And they do it, and they just isolate Lovering.
Against Andre, he walked. 8th turnover of the first half.
The good news for Utah, it's not a live ball turnover, so they can get their defense set.
Yesufu gets it back to Small. And Small slipped, and West Virginia gives it right back.
Mason Madsen did a really nice job being physical with Small, fighting him through the screen. At the end of the day, Small is a little bit off balance. I'm not so sure it didn't start at the beginning of the cut, whereas Madsen being so physical.
That's kind of what you have to do against Small, right? Just make it tough on him, all that contact, and see what they call and what they don't call. Gabe Madsen short on this 3. On the break, and Connie to Powell. Didn't connect, and it's a turnover.
The long rebound turns into a fast break, but have to be able to simplify in that scenario. You'd love to be able to get in Small's hands so he can be the decision maker.
Sar back in for Utah.
Utah settling just a bit from the 3-point line. I think this makes sense for Sar to come back in the game and try and get something going to the interior.
Yeah, Utah hit 4 of them early, 3 from Gabe Madsen. They're 4 of 13 now. Mason Madsen almost lost it. Asar the spin. And the foul on O'Connie, his second. So 2 on Hansberry and 2 on O'Connie. 17 foul, free throws coming up for Utah.
Exactly what Coach wanted, putting Asar in the game, trying to change in the offensive rhythm, get him to the basket.
Asar spent his senior year of high school at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. When renowned program, produced so many McDonald's All-Americans over the last few years. And Sean McElwain, his coach for his senior year, said, I remember in the summer grassroots season, junior year leading to his senior year, just stood out. Who is he? He's fearless. He was not on the recruiting radar at all coming out of Atlanta, but he didn't take basketball seriously until late in his high school career.
Yeah, needless to say, he's blossomed, and his game has just continued to grow.
He was a football player first, and doesn't that explain a lot? His body type, can't you see it?
Not surprising.
So Ausar, 5 of 6 at the line, and it's a 3-point lead for Utah. Nearing the 2-minute mark. The cutting Harris lays it home. It goes this time for Buck Harris.
Really nice play by Andre. We saw him turn the basketball over in the exact same situation earlier. This time had the presence and the patience to get the assist.
Ausar with the travel. And so West Virginia with an opportunity to take the lead.
The little pocket pass there, and Andre with the balance really has great presence and most importantly, learned from the mistake he made earlier.
Again, the pocket pass from Small. Andre stripped this time.
West Virginia's trying to go back and repeat the play that just worked, but this time Utah getting a deflection.
Sharp jumps. Rising over Yesufu.
West Virginia is excellent at three-point defense and has those stats for a reason.
And Harris is fouled. Again, an aggressive move by Sincere Harris. And he has a chance to tie it and take the lead from the line.
You had mentioned earlier with Utah, you used the word engaged, and I think that's an excellent word. And it's, you know, with all the adversity they've been through, all the challenges, they are, you can tell on shoot around, you can tell on the bench, you can tell the way they're playing. They're all engaged, excited about playing, which for the players and the coaches, I give them a lot of credit.
1-1 for Harris. He ties the game. He'll have one more. And it can go the other way so easily. Can it, Jared, when your coach is fired late in the season? By the way, this is a team that was picked to finish last in the league, and they're middle of the pack, and Craig Smith still gets fired.
Well, in any kind of adversity, right, you can respond in a lot of different ways, and this Utah team has responded well.
Harris splits the pair, tied at 27. Final minute of the half. Ausar against his former teammate at East Carolina. Small. And a turnover by Utah. Back into the hands of Small, guarded by Ausar. He launches. Give it to him. West Virginia has its first lead since it was 2-0.
And Ausar knew he took a step back instead of getting into Small, and just that little bit of daylight. That's all Small needed.
Sharp jumps the pull-up. Offensive board. Ausar, no. Lovering, it finally goes down. And Andre is down on the floor.
This game, just like every game in this conference, so physical, especially on the inside. Both teams battling.
Let's take a closer look. Oh, took the right elbow of Ezra Ausar, it appeared.
Well, obviously no intent, but you can obviously see also why he's down right now, because that was a significant shot to the face.
After review, there was no flagrant foul on the play.
Quick review, you heard the voice of Tony Padilla, the lead official tonight. Again, is it excessive? Is it unnecessary? The words in the rule book to define a flagrant foul. Not the case here, like you said. It certainly looked inadvertent.
Yeah, unfortunate to say the least, but at the end of the day, Sarr's looking at the basket, trying to go up and get the rebound. He and Levering both in there fighting. You know, at this point, you're just hoping it's okay right now. Utah has been, you know, effective on some possessions in defending small, and what they're doing is playing them different ways. They're trying to all be physical with them, but they're putting different people on them, different matchups, and it's really been a, you know, smalls have to be creative to find ways to get open, and he's done a pretty good job getting his shots up and making plays for others, but he's a dynamic person for sure.
We've seen just a little bit of movement here from Eduardo Andre, and that's so good to see. But I mean, that elbow clearly made a difference. You just saw what they wiped up off the floor near Andre. Man, I mean, that is no joke. That is a hard shot from the elbow of Ezra Ausar. We take one more look. And again, no flagrant foul assessed here. But man.
You know, sometimes in those situations, it's a glancing blow, and this was not. This is just directly into the nose and eye area. Andre's just obviously in a lot of pain right now. You can just see the concern on his teammates and coaches' faces right now. And, all the best thoughts heading his way.
Andre spent his first 2 years at Nebraska, transferred to Fresno State. Darren DeVries said, looking in the portal, hey, we needed size on this team. Added Andre, brings that rim protection. And Andre said, I have never been to the NCAA tournament my entire college career. This is why I'm here. Coach DeVries has proven he can take a team there. Certainly did that at Drake. Man, just hope he's all right.
Well, the dream for both teams, and you know, really everybody in college basketball, you obviously have the conference tournaments to be able to get that done. But that's why this game is so spirited right now, why they're so aggressive. The dream of the NCAA tournament is a real thing, and it really motivates everybody at the highest level.
Man. Glad to see Andre in the seated position here. You know, such a beautiful moment last week, Jared, when Andre made a hustle play in the second half against TCU. And Darren DeVries sprints out onto the floor to congratulate him. And just a very different scene now, but you just see that connection again between coach and player and how much Darren DeVries cares for everybody on his team.
Yeah, and there's certain things you just can't fake. You know, the relationships and the care factor obviously is very, very high, and the players respond to it. And as you mentioned, it's great that he's up and walking off, but all the best thoughts to him right now.
And that towel, you saw glimpses of it. That tells the story. Hard shot from the elbow of Ausar. Andre exits. 16.4 to go in the half. Again, West Virginia has come back from 12 down. They have their first lead since it was 2-0. And battling back kind of like they have all year long, despite the offensive struggles, finding something here late in the half.
Yeah, they're still struggling offensively, but there's a little bit better rhythm, a little bit better purpose to what they're doing. But what they've done all year and what they've done tonight is on the defensive end. They're getting stop after stop after stop, and that's allowed them to cut in the lead and now be up by 1.
Yeah, Utah started this game sizzling. They were 6 of 8 from the floor. Gabe Madsen hitting those threes to start his senior night. But since then, Utah as a team just 3 of 18 against this elite West Virginia defense. And offensively, the Mountaineers have made their last 6 shots themselves.
You know, you've heard the phrase defense travels, and West Virginia traveled with their defense yet again.
Put it in the hands of Javon Small, Big 12 Player of the Year contender. 10 seconds. Being watched by Hunter Erickson. Hansberry. West Virginia by a point at the break, trailing by 12 at one point, but they've got the lead heading to the locker room as they eye one more quad one victory to bolster their tournament resume. So West Virginia on top here on Utah's senior night. Javon Small with 9 points and 3 assists to lead the Mountaineers as usual. Coming up to the studio, Spencer Linton, looking at both men and women's basketball in the Big 12. Just a great sign for West Virginia. Eduardo Andre coming out of the locker room, and yeah, he's got the walrus tusks plucking the nose, but he is warming up here for the second half. Again, we take you back to the closing moments of the first half, taking the elbow of Utah's Ezra Asar right to the face. He was down on the floor for such a long time, Jared, before eventually making it to his feet and heading to the locker room. The towel soaked in blood, but Andre is back out here with his team.
Well, as important as this game is for everybody, and there's passion and emotion, the reality is this always keeps things in perspective, and it is great to see him back out here.
Tony Padilla, the lead official, just came over to us right as we were coming back from break and said, is that really him out there? Like, he was in disbelief. I think a lot of people are.
Absolutely. Great deal of toughness. It's a program based on toughness, and he's right back out there for his team.
Just awesome to see. West Virginia by a point as we start the second half. This team's tied for 9th in the Big 12. Top 8 teams get a first round bye in the Big 12 tournament next week. It is not the all-senior starting 5 to open the second half. Sharam chops to the cup, his first bucket for Utah.
Really nice and smooth. A little bit surprising West Virginia didn't gap that up and help in.
Hansberry had 5 points and 5 boards in the first half. They were led by Javon Small's 9. Against Gabe Madsen, under 10 to shoot. Hansberry. Sharup jumps, giving it to Lovering, who banks it in with a foul. So Sharup jumps, making an impact in the first minute of the second half. First the bucket, now the assist.
And Lovering really tried this in the first half with little success. I like him going back at it. He needs to be a threat at the rim. Has his balance, finishes the play. His confidence will go up with that. They need interior scoring this half.
That's the free throw, not a surprise as much as Lovering has struggled there this season. But it's a 3-point lead for Utah. O'Connor, the extra to Harris. Getting around the size of Lovering. Oh, Buck Harris with a nice move.
That was crafty. Got inside, used his angles. Didn't have the length of Lovering, but worked his angles to get that shot off.
Harris now with 5. Feed Asar down low against O'Connor. Hansberry comes over, and it leads to a steal. Small the step back, foot on the line. Oh, way off, but an offensive rebound. O'Connor had it poked away by Wallin, foul called. Wallin second.
Offensively, I like what Utah's doing right now. West Virginia is face guarding Madsen, just completely face guarding him. But what that does is can create some space to allow you to attack the rim. And most of the shots right now for Utah are getting to the rim, and they're having some success doing that.
And Josh Eilert said earlier today, I feel like that is truly this team's identity. We've just figured it out here late in the season. Small trying to get it in. Oh, a 5-second call, and it's a turnover by West Virginia. Javon Small didn't trigger it in time.
Yeah, and Small's a little frustrated too. And the problem is if the team is not ready when the ball is handed in, if they take an extra second or two, okay, a play that might take 3 or 4 seconds, now you're out of time and you get the turnover.
Gabe Madsen the kick. Wallin. Rebound for Harris. Powell inside the arc. And he got the friendly bounce. Mountaineers back on top.
Really good rhythm by West Virginia that possession. A set play with they slipped out of it, but the ball movement after that was really good. Both teams look more comfortable on the offensive end to start this half.
Sharif Jumps with a 3. Yes! Sharif Jumps, a 34% shooter from downtown this year. What a start to the second half he's put together.
Utah starting both halves really efficiently. Now can they keep it up against this West Virginia team that just doesn't give in very often?
That's the first made 3 for Utah since the 13-minute mark of the first half. They're 5 of 16 in the game. Small got it back. And with Andre on the floor, a foul is called. Man, it is incredible to see Eduardo Andre back out there. Talk about toughness, man. Personified here with Andre after what happened in the first half.
Sneaking over there to go talk to the trainer, make sure he's good to continue going. And
give me that new plug. There you go.
There's no question in his mind that he wants to stay out there and keep going.
How do you breathe? You're especially playing here at elevation, everything that you have to consider, not to mention the injury itself from the first half.
Well, and we also talked about the overall depth of West Virginia. And so for him to be out there, it's important to their team, but for him just to battle through and the fatigue and, like you mentioned, the elevation, a lot of challenges.
Well, there was blood on the court. You saw Andre was looking for that new nose plug. One slipped out again as he got fouled. And they've got to wipe the blood off the floor. It's going to take more than that to get Eduardo Andre off the floor. The foul was on Sharif Jumps, his first. Andre the post up. Over Lovering, and he scores.
And he lost one of his nose plugs again. That's going to be a continual thing, but heck of a play. Really nice left hand controlled post play.
First points of the game for Andre. Now meeting Lovering at the rim, and he fouled him. Second on Andre.
West Virginia going to him in the post out of an out of bounds play. Really controlled, tight spin move, and with his length and touch, an easy little jump hook. He's going to go get patched up again now.
Just incredible to see him contribute in any way after taking that elbow to the face.
It's keeping the people in the building here busy cleaning up blood on one side, then to the other side. And if he keeps coming in, this is going to be a nonstop potentially for the rest of the game.
Might have a few more delays if that's the case. Yeah, of course. Trader's got to still work on Andre. Anytime those plugs come out over the course of action.
You know, in terms of real time, it's been a while since the injury occurred. So
yes.
It's
man, now you got the clamp on him. I don't think I've ever seen that, by the way. Anybody who is taking a shot to the nose. And Love rings up the line. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Man, guess that can help stop the bleeding. And Lovering now 0 for 5 tonight. Tie game. Small guarded by Gabe Madsen. Oh, wanted the step back. Under 10 to shoot. O'Connie. Wallin pulls the trigger. That's a 3. Wallin's first points, putting Utah on top.
One thing West Virginia is doing on the offensive right now are setting some ghost screens. So this right here and having Hansberry slip out of them, potentially for an interior shot or potentially for a three-point shot as well. But they like some kind of a matchup with Hansberry.
He's calling for it down low against Sharp-Jumps. Instead, it's Powell. Hansberry, the offensive board, swatted by Lovering. Kick it to Powell. Missed them both. Credit Harris getting back defensively. Sharp-Jumps takes Small off the dribble. And a foul. So a timeout with Utah up 3 on their senior night. Senior night festivities before the game tonight for Utah here at the Huntsman Center. 6 seniors honored, 5 of them on the court this season, along with 1 red shirt. Josh Eilert, the interim head coach, Jared said earlier today, this is just a class that is a joy to be around. They have not checked out despite Craig Smith being fired last week. No sign of, hey, our head coach is gone. Who cares now?
Yeah, and they obviously have a love for each other, the way they respond to each other, the way their body language in shoot around and tonight. There's a true care factor between coaches and players, and senior night's always special, and this one is even a little more special for all these Utah seniors.
And you see the stark contrast for Utah this year here in Salt Lake City compared to on the road. 15-3 at home. Utah has won 5 straight here and looking to knock off West Virginia in their final home game of the season. Sharp-Jumps at the line out of the timeout. Only 64% on the year. Again, Utah so poor as a team. 7th worst in the country at 64%, just like Sharp-Jumps is himself. 5-point game. Andre back on the floor. Nose all plugged up for now. Setting the screen for Small. 10 to shoot. Small was looking for Andre. Now it's Tenor. Yesufu. Man, a lot of contact, bodies flying, no whistle.
Utah's they've had a good defensive game. They've made it hard, and when it gets tough for West Virginia, they end up giving it to Small and let him go one-on-one.
Sharp-Jumps drills the 3. Man, Mike Sharp-Jumps has come out hot here in the second half. He's got 10 all since the break.
And it really started right when the second half started, driving and getting an easy layup, and I think the confidence levels really skyrocketed. And now his shots are going in from 3 and playing really good defense as well.
Utah has scored 8 in a row to build this 8-point lead. Small on the attack, missed the banker, but a foul called on the floor on the rebound. And it's against Gabe Madsen, I believe, his second.
The confidence level for the entire Utah team right now is going up. Defensively, they're fighting like crazy. But 2 hands by Wallin makes it tough.
And they called it on Madsen. Oh, didn't see much there. Definitely push. I just don't think it was against Madsen. But that's the case.
Small is out of the game right now, so it'll be interesting offensively to see where they go. And really, really nice finish inside, on balance off 2 feet.
Working for Oconee. He's got 6. Now Oconee trying to keep up with Asar at this end.
It's physical basketball right there. That matchup with Oconee and Asar, 2 strong players.
Tenor off balance, banks it in. Boy, where does the offense come from with Small off the floor? How about Oconee and KJ Tenor?
And I think the rest of the guys understand they have to elevate their game and be aggressive, and really a couple good possessions for them.
Gabe Madsen off the curl. Missed the 3. Foul inside against Utah.
Tenor in transition. Great first step, puts his head down, a little floater. The complementary players are really stepping up their game right now for West Virginia.
And you hear what Utes fans think of the officiating crew right now. Did you expect anything else? Tenor again trying to create. Hansberry wants it.
They got to get it to him.
Instead, Tenor in the lane. 4 to shoot. Harris missed everything with the runner.
Nothing more frustrating than the big that works his tail off, fighting for position. They have to find a way to get him that basketball when he has deep post position like that.
Double comes for Asar. Gabe Madsen. Offensive board, Wallin. Swatted, but a foul. It's against Oconee, his 3rd. A timeout here in Salt Lake City. Mongolian Mike Sharafjans has ignited Utah here in the second half.
Yes, he has, and he's so silky smooth. Goes inside with a great left hand early, and West Virginia then decides they're going to protect inside first on him. Ends up being 2 3-point shots in rhythm.
10 points all since halftime. Also 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's the first Mongolian citizen to earn a Division I scholarship. So the teams in Cincinnati last month, a few players take an Uber to go grab something to eat. And they start talking with the driver. Mike's not in the car. The driver, turns out he's Mongolian. And so his teammates are like, by the way, do you know Mike Sharafjans? And the driver says, oh, he is a superstar in my country. They tell the driver, yeah, that's our teammate. And so they put Sharafjans on FaceTime with the Uber driver, just makes his day.
And he's such a low-key, teammate that the guys didn't realize what a big deal he was, and they've had a lot of fun with that.
A little pressure from Utah. West Virginia moves it across. Hansberry that close to 3 the hard way. He is going to the line.
The free throw line for both teams. It'll be interesting. Right now it's been a struggle on both ends of the floor for both teams making their free throws as the game wears on. This is a close game. A point here, a point there on the free throw line could be a big, big difference.
West Virginia just hasn't been there that often tonight. Hansberry hits the first. The Mountaineers now 3 of 6 as a team. Utah 10 of 17. Hansberry, a good free throw shooter, 78% on the year. And missed the second. Don't want to hear anything about announcer jinx, though. Doesn't exist. Keller. Powell all the way to the rim.
The pace for West Virginia was really good. They got out in transition. Even though they didn't score right away, 2 or 3 passes later, they kept Utah on the defensive, backing up the entire possession. They scored at the rim.
Gabe Madsen on the cut for 2.
He has really understood when he is face guarded, where to go back door, he uses angles and uses his screens so well.
That was his first bucket of the second half, almost midway through. Had 13 in the first half, now 15 in the game. Right on his season average. 6 to shoot, Powell passed it up. Oconee lets it fly. And didn't touch the rim, it's a shot clock violation.
Tenner has his hands on his knees right now. He is working so hard trying to keep Gabe Madsen from getting that basketball. Face guard working the entire time. Really taking it as a personal challenge.
You are in for a workout if you're defending Madsen. Sharov jumps off the mark. Keller an offensive rebound. Hansberry the strip. 2-on-1 with Small if they hurry. And Hansberry beats him down the floor. Count it with a foul. Using the offhand.
Well, I really think transition offense for West Virginia is where it's at. They're going to have to get some stops, get out in transition, and find some easy ones because Utah's half-court defense has been excellent. And so they got to find the easy ones, and it starts usually on a missed shot or ideally a steal for West Virginia. But that's a great job running the floor.
Oh, Hansberry on a nice run, couple of double-doubles in the last 4 games. He says, I've gotten out of my head. He's taken a nice jump from last year at Illinois, barely played on that Elite 8 team, to a big contributor for West Virginia.
These really important pieces. They go into the postseason soon. He's a really important piece for them to achieve at the highest level.
Mason Madsen draws the foul. That comes before the shot.
When attacking this West Virginia defense, it's so important if you can, beat the first line of defense and get to the interiors, being strong with the basketball because they are so active with their hands and athletic that if you're not, it's just going to turn into a steal.
Fouls on Tenner, and beg your pardon, they do award free throws here to Madsen. Thought I saw the official say it was on the floor, not the case.
Also in the game number 2, Ezra Assar. Replacing number 32, Zach Kelly.
So Assar back in for Utah, Yesufu in for West Virginia.
They're putting Small off the ball right now, seeing if they can get him a clean look.
Off a screen from Hansberry, guarded by Mason Madsen. Shot clock melting. Powell lost it on the way up. And Wallin landed on the baseline. West Virginia ball, 20 on the timer.
What West Virginia is doing with their ball screens is sometimes they set it, but a lot of times right now they're slipping out of it, trying to create some confusion, either for Small to be able to get a shot or the screener to be able to get some kind of good look.
Oh, beautiful. On the out of bounds, Javon Small throws it down.
That is highlight material. Great change of direction and athletic finish.
And Mason Madsen wasn't ready for the pass. Utah turns it over.
A game like this, those are the mistakes that cannot happen.
How about Javon Small faking everybody out here?
Well, he's such a good three-point shooter. The screen's coming down for him. Defensively, they're overplaying. Really a nice setup backdoor.
And now 14 turnovers by Utah. Small pulls the trigger. And rebound corralled by Utah.
I like what they're doing, though, with Small playing a little bit off the ball right now. You coming off screens, going back door is not the primary ball handler.
Nassar had it knocked away. And a foul called away from the ball here by Rick Crawford. And O'Connie picks up his 4th for West Virginia.
As physical as this game is, it's just another night in this league. And the guys, the players are used to it, the coaches are used to it. It's so competitive, it's so physical.
It's a cage match almost every night. Just ask Eduardo Andre. Nose plugged up and coming back from injury. Madsen twins on the floor together. Mason Madsen attacks Small, lost it out of bounds. Turnover number 15 by the Utes.
And I would attribute that to the ball pressure. We talked about the ball pressure of West Virginia. One-on-one basketball, they're so good at getting into the offensive player and making it difficult.
Small does bring it up the floor this time, Jared. Sharp jumps, picks him up on the switch. Hansberry for 3.
3 different ball screens Hansberry set on that one. The first one didn't get him open. The second one didn't get him open. The third one got him to pick and pop.
Foul called. Sharp jumps had it knocked out of his hands. Fouls against West Virginia and Harris, his 2nd. It is another street fight in the Big 12. Regular season before we get to KC, however, BYU becoming that team you just don't want to see right now. They're on their way to their 6th straight win, up a dozen at Hilton Coliseum against top 10 Iowa State. Still 8 minutes to play. Baylor, big win. They were among Joe Lunardi's last 4 buys entering the game, so a little closer to the bubble than they would certainly hope. But they beat TCU in Fort Worth. And West Virginia, a 10 seed as well, along with Baylor, according to Joey Brackett's right now. Sharp jumps hits the front end of the 1-1, Jared. And you know, with Josh Eilert, their interim coach from a year ago on the other sideline, just the ironic nature of this game. West Virginia knows the importance of this one. Down a couple, 8 to play. This is a quad 1 opportunity to cement their tournament resume.
When they know how big this opportunity is for them. They'll have another 1 or 2 coming up as well, but they understand that part of it. And this conference as a whole, I think, is really built for the postseason. Primarily, they have talented players, but defensively, it is such a good conference.
7 to shoot for West Virginia. Powell connects. That's a 3. Mountaineers grab the lead.
They're doing a nice job with off-ball screening right now. And the screens, you know, they are physical. They're hitting people every time there's a screen, and they're doing a nice job using the screens as well.
It's the 6th lead change of the night. Most of those coming here in the second half. Nassar had it knocked out of his hands. Whistle blows. Foul against Powell.
West Virginia, great use of screens. Powell understands the space he has, takes his time, knocks it in. The complementary players, like I talked about, start hitting from the 3-point line in particular. Offensively, this West Virginia team can be pretty darn good, and we know what they do defensively.
Jared, you see it. The design is sound. You're talking about the screens to free up shooters. This time of year, bottom line, can they hit those looks when they count? Yeah,
they've had some open ones that they have not hit. Start getting postseason right now. A lot of the success that they're going to have or not have will be based on knocking in or not knocking in those open threes.
Sarr made them both. Utah back in front. Small against Nassar. Teammates at East Carolina a couple of years ago. Now against Sharp jumps. Hansberry, good look. Give it to him. Back-to-back triples for non-Javon Small contributors.
The blueprint, they're executing it right now. Getting to the paint and Small, really unselfish, making the right play.
And Asar is fouled underneath.
A lot of times point guards, when they get to the paint, they feel like they need to force it, or anybody. And he does such a nice job making the pump fakes, drawing so much attention and making the easy pass out. That's the wide open shots they're going to need to make. On this end, Asar is really, these last two possessions, used his savvy. The previous possession, facing up, drawing the foul, and then this time just being strong enough with the basketball that getting to the free throw line is a great way for them to score right now.
Asar missed the front end, rebound by Dawes, and Asar with the tip in. Oh, he gets two anyway. Now trying to follow Javon Small, Ezra Asar. Hansberry's pass taken away. Small didn't cut.
Yeah, it's a good idea, just weren't on the same page.
And Gabe Madsen lost it, so Utah gives it right back.
Boy, what a good game. Tied up with 6 minutes left. Teams are competing so hard, so much on the line right now. The conditioning for both teams at this point, I think, is really interesting. See if anybody gives in mentally or physically. It's such a long season, such a long game right now. You're playing at altitude. The conditioning for both teams comes into play now.
And West Virginia's been here seemingly forever. 6 days. Small, offline, and Sharp chops skies for the rebound. Played BYU Saturday, hung around, came up 50 miles up the road from Provo, and finishing up this Beehive State road trip in Salt Lake. Asar, downhill again, foul called again.
When we look at this, it's just the idea of verticality. You know, they got a little bit of anxious, didn't stay completely vertical.
Man, that's the fourth on Hansberry now. Bookmark this at the 5:36 mark. And Eduardo Andres heading to the scores table for Darren DeVries. Got double plugs now in both nostrils. And again, Andre took that elbow to the face from the player at the line, Ezra Asar. It was late in the first half.
Well, this last segment has been all about Asar getting the ball inside, playing to his strengths, getting fouled, and he's been effective doing it.
And Asar is starting to hit at the line now. He is 9 of 11 tonight, continuing his stretch over the last 5. Much better than he has been all year long. He's gotten to the line all year long, and now he's finally making them.
Gabe Madsen coming out of the game, probably around the timeout, give him about a minute here, and then be able to finish the last 4 minutes strong.
Man, huge free throw disparity tonight, as I'm sure West Virginia fans have noticed watching back home. Foul called here, lead to a 1-and-1 for West Virginia. It's against Sharp Jumps, that's his third. And Javon Small, the third best free throw shooter in the league at 88%, steps to the line for the first time tonight. One and one, give him one more. And Small ties it up.
I would look for Utah to go right back to Asar, finding ways to get him some kind of a good look inside 15 feet.
Sharp Jumps operating against Buck Harris, a tenacious defender. Asar working against Andre on the block. Erickson looking to feed it to him. Well away from the bucket now. Asar gives it up. Erickson for three. Loose ball kicked.
And Asar really drawing a lot of attention there. That was the intent to get him the basketball, but not only does he have Andre on him, 2 or 3 West Virginia defenders started swarming to him, made a nice pass out. But I think they're going to continue to go back to him.
20 to shoot after the kickball. Yep, right back into the hands of Asar on the perimeter. Asar shoots it. Harris couldn't secure the rebound. Contact there. Utah ball again.
A little contact. I would say hand-to-hand combat inside right now. And this is a man's game. It is physical. It is tough right now.
Many coaches in the league will tell you privately, it is wild what they don't call in the Big 12. Gabe Madsen's back on the floor for Utah. Powell sticking with Sharp jumps. Whistle here.
And Lovering is battling. You know, the last possession he did not get the call, but what he's doing is continuing to battle and then putting it in the officials' hands to be able to make the call. So just fighting. Now, the free throw line is not his friend right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if Asar Dawes really try and go aggressively to the offensive boards.
Third personal on Buck Harris. Lovering is 0 of 5 on free throws tonight. He tried to bank one in earlier. Swishes that one. Now remember earlier this season, Jared, Kansas started to just intentionally foul Lovering late in the game. I wonder if West Virginia might think about that too.
Well,
and he banks in this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about it. And I would actually maybe make the argument they've already tried.
Yeah.
When they're in the post right now, they're so physical with them over the top that I think it's not a bad result putting them on the line, except for that possession where he goes 2 for 2.
How about that? And a big ovation from the Utah fans on Lovering's senior night.
I mean, Asar's eyes right now guarding Small. He is locked in. It is a must stop in their mind going into the next timeout.
Yesufu swatted by Lovering, but a foul.
Lovering, for his size, great job sliding his feet. The crowd may have an argument there. A lot of the contact was initiated by Yesufu. He's getting to the line. But Lovering may have an argument there.
First free throw for Yesufu, and he buries it. 73% on the season. Andre back in, as the West Virginia trainer's been working overtime tonight to clean him up. Yesufu ties the score at 58. Sharp Jumps has had all 11 of his points here in the second half. Asar wants it on the block. Gabe Madsen, short, and Andre with the rebound.
Gabe Madsen, he's going to keep shooting, and he needs to keep shooting, but he's missed some looks that, honestly, normally he doesn't get those clean looks, and he's just missed some tonight.
His night could be a lot bigger than it is. Hit 3 early threes, hasn't hit much since. Small hits a huge 3!
Wow, and it all started with a great screen from Small. Gives him just enough advantage.
Javon Small is inevitable. West Virginia reclaiming the lead. Lovering couldn't hit over Andre. Small's got 16 points to go with 5 assists. And guarded by the bigger Asar again. East Carolina Pirate teammates 2 years ago. 5 to shoot. Small got around him. The lob. Andre with the finish. He lost the plugs from his nose, but he puts it home for a 5-point lead.
What a fantastic play. Great presence, great pass, and a heck of a finish.
And a timeout for Utah. West Virginia does not throw in the blood-soaked towel tonight.
One of the great things a shooter can do is set a screen. After a physical screen, it provides a help situation. Small then gets his screen, knocks it in. Continues to get to the paint. And once he does, draws attention. A nice soft pass for the finish.
Put his fingerprints on this game as he usually does.
He sure is. And so much weight is placed on his shoulders on both ends of the floor. What stands out right now is his conditioning. I am amazed on the defensive end. He's chasing guys around. He's pressuring the ball on the offensive end. He's just an Energizer bunny. He doesn't stop. And it can be the ball in his hands making plays for others, his ball in his hands making a play for himself, using screens, setting screens. He's doing it all.
He's played 34 minutes tonight. He's second in the league. He averages 36 minutes a night. He's going to hit that, maybe more. Under 3 to play, and with a 7-0 run, West Virginia has built its largest lead here tonight on the road in Salt Lake City.
There's a lot of good players out right now, but Small for West Virginia and Gabe Madsen are the ones we need to focus on.
Here is Gabe Madsen with a 3 right on cue for the Utes.
Talking about his movement without the basketball, great screen, a well-designed play out of the timeout.
Much needed for Utah. Love rings out on an island with Small at the moment. Giving it up to Yesufu. Yes, sir! That's a triple!
It is a heavyweight fight right now. I mean, both teams are just playing at a high level, playing their hearts out.
And some big threes here in the second half from those secondary scorers. Timeout granted to Utah with Sharp Jumps in trouble.
Both teams competing hard, finding ways from the three-point line. The Stars are out making threes, ready for a big finish.
For the final 146, the foul trouble for West Virginia, Jared. Hansberry and O'Connor both with 4, Harris with 3, and again, for a West Virginia team that has really no depth at all.
Well, and you said exactly right. It's always a struggle if one of your players or one of your starters fouls out. But when you don't have the depth to start with, it really puts the coaching staff and the team in a little bit of a bind. So they're going to need to play hard, but play without fouling.
O'Connor and Harris are on the floor. Hansberry is not, out of Utah's timeout. Utes just 1 timeout remaining. 5 to shoot for Dawes. Trying to get it back to Lovering. Knocked out. Utah ball, 2 on the timer.
It's out of bounds under right now. They're going to have a play they know that they get a shot quickly. This is one where Madsen may be coming off a couple screens because he can create his own shot once the ball's in his hands.
Gabe Madsen's getting hugged by Sincere Harris right now. Into Lovering. Missed it. Sharp Jumps collects. Shot clock resets. And Sharp Jumps is hammered by Andre.
This is not a game for the meek. I mean, they are competing.
So is this a foul, Jared?
He could foul out. He could have 0 fouls right now and foul out. He may have used all 5 on that one play.
It's the 3rd on Andre, who, again, himself, just look at his nose. Took that shot from Ezra Sarr at the end of the first half. Trainers realized, oh, forget 1 plug, put 2 in both nostrils. As Sharp Jumps misses the front end here. So Andre heads out, and Hansberry, with the 4 personals, returns.
Utah going a little smaller now defensively, a little bit more versatile with Lovering on the bench, but they're going to need to make sure if they can get West Virginia to miss, they need to be able to secure the rebound.
Sharp jumps now with a dozen. All of his points coming in the second half. 4-point game, 90 seconds to play. West Virginia has the resume of a tournament team. They would rather not sweat out Selection Sunday. A win tonight would all but assure things for the Mountaineers. Small with under 10. The step back. And a foul. If it's O'Connie, he's done. Gabe Madsen went flying, and Toby O'Connie's fouled out.
Small able to create his own shot. A pretty good look. It just doesn't go. And really an impressive rebound by Madsen right there. And for West Virginia, this is just it's a lot of problems, right? We have the foul problems. Now it's a stop clock with Madsen on the line, being able to chip away at the lead with a stop clock. So not an ideal result there for West Virginia.
So O'Connie exits. Again, 2 free throws at the other end for Gabe Madsen, who's got 18 on his senior night. 2 of 2 at the line so far, and 5th in the league at 85% on the season.
And we're getting under a minute here, but it is not a situation that Utah needs to foul. They don't need to gamble. They need to get a stop, obviously, but it's not something that the time is a major factor yet.
And Madsen makes it a 2-point game.
Utah pushing out the pressure just a bit, seeing if maybe you can force a turnover. But again, no need to gamble.
Josh Eilert urging on the crowd against the school he was with the last 17 seasons. Assar picking up Small again. Timeout for West Virginia. They've got 2 left.
So at this point, West Virginia is looking, to obviously create a great shot. Small, at the end of the day, he has the ability to create his own shot. You don't even have to do anything for him because he's so dynamic. But I do think they've had some success playing him off the ball. Potentially have Yesufu have the basketball, some off-ball screening, just to be able to get Small some kind of a advantage other than just having to create for himself. But it's a team right now that understands what's at stake. I'd be surprised if Small is not the one taking a shot at the end of the day.
What is the counter for West Virginia if Utah decides, no matter what, Javon Small, we are not going to allow you to take the shot here?
Well, it's a nice thought. The reality is Small, good offense can beat good defense, and you can sit there and you can foul him, you can do whatever, but at the end of the day, he has such a unique ability to create his own shot. Now, you could potentially throw a double team at him. The problem is he's such a good passer that you're going to have a 4-on-3 behind, so I don't think that's the answer anyway. Probably for Utah is putting size on Small, trying to figure out to challenge his shot at the end of this shot clock.
By the way, if Utah does foul, be 1-1 for West Virginia, assuming a non-shooting foul. West Virginia in the bonus, not the double bonus quite yet.
So Assar is going to be on Small. They're putting size and athleticism on him. Makes some sense.
Give it to Small against Assar. Hansberry. Small on the cut. Hansberry didn't find him. 5 to shoot. Dawes defending. Small banks it in. Javon Small is a supernova.
A shining star is exactly right. My goodness. Unbelievable. Had the ball, passed it, went back door. He was denied, comes off, and then makes his own play. Wow.
And Utah calls its final timeout. Try to conserve some time, rolling it up the floor. 35 and a half. Javon Small delivering in the clutch.
He got rid of the ball early, tried to get a back door, comes off a down screen, and then just simply creates for himself. Everybody in this building, every player, every coach, every fan knew it was going to come down to that. But at the end of the day, to answer your question, how can they stop it? I don't know.
Who can? Who has this season? 18 to go with 7 assists, also 4 rebounds for Small. He always fills up the box score. Darren DeVries marveled earlier today at shoot-around. No matter what teams try to do to him, they blitz him, they double him, they try to limit his touches, he always knows how to handle every situation.
And at the end of the day, the opposing team, their best strategy is hope. And that's not a real good strategy.
So Utah's called their final timeout. What are you looking for from the Utes here?
Obviously, time is of the essence. They want to have something attacking downhill. It doesn't matter if it's a 3 or a 2 right now. If it's a 3, that is some kind of the byproduct of attacking the rim. They have had a little bit of success with Madsen, with kind of some misdirection screening, kind of flare screens. So he was obviously, the stars are out right now. We've seen Small on that end. Madsen, if he can get some kind of a clean look on this end, we know the shot's going up.
Gabe Madsen's in the corner. Into Sharp jumps. 4-point deficit. Madsen from deep. Loose ball. Wallin fighting for it. Utah is out of timeouts here. Remember that. Yesufu hit the floor for West Virginia. And Antonio Petty and Tony Padilla conferring here. Again, Utah is out of timeouts.
Well, Coach Eilert, he's saying, I didn't call it.
Right.
And Wallin, that's the question. Did he call it? Was it an inadvertent whistle? Was it assumed? That's what they're sorting out right now.
Well, Antonio Petty is motioning toward the bench almost to signal a timeout there. I didn't see a timeout call.
I don't think so either.
Well, it's
West Virginia. An inadvertent whistle, I think, is what they're saying. They're just giving it to West Virginia, which is
an inadvertent whistle. We're going to go to the possession arrow. It'll be West Virginia ball with 30 on it, with no shot clock.
Appreciate the explanation from Tony Padilla. Jared, you were on top of it. Yeah, in that situation, it goes to the arrow. That was pointing the Mountaineers' way. It's their ball.
Need to get a foul.
Utah's got a foul here. And Yesufu is fouled with 12 seconds. There's just that slight difference between the clocks. Doesn't really matter. Utah down 4, got a foul.
With a
finally get it done.
Yeah, with a 4-point differential, you really need to foul faster. You
yes.
Can't, and I like it if it's a 2 or 3-point differential. You're trying to get a trap, and maybe get a steal and burn off 5-6 seconds. But in this situation down 4, the foul needs to happen much earlier.
Yesufu, the 6th-year senior. 2 of 2 tonight. 1 and 1. He's got one more. From Drake with Darren DeVries to Kansas to Washington State, and now back with DeVries at West Virginia. And Yesufu with the 2 free throws to make it a 6-point game.
And I think this is a mandatory 3-point shot now. You don't have enough time to do anything else.
There's Gabe Madsen. He heard you, missed it. Madsen again, final seconds, drains that one. Utah out of timeouts, 3.7 to go. It is 70-67. Oh, off the steal, Wallin lays it in. And now confusion. But the score is wrong here in the arena.
The review is for time.
And Tony Padilla says they got to make sure they got enough time on the clock. You saw it on the score bug at the bottom of your screen. It was the same way here in the arena. After Madsen hit that 3 on the second chance, they put those 3 in the West Virginia column. It is 70-67. Take another look. So he hits the three, Jared, and then off the steal, Wallane lays it in to make it 70-69.
And Powell just rolls his ankle, turns it over. 1 point game. Wow, 5 points in 4 seconds.
See, they take a 10th of a second off. All right, they add a few ticks, so 1.7. Utah down 1 after all that. Boy, Powell just collapsed there, lost the ball, and Wallane took advantage.
It's March, it's senior night, anything can happen.
Still not over. Got a foul right now, and Utah does with 1.2.
So when they checked the time to make sure that was right, that essentially turns into a mini timeout for Utah. So this situation, they knew was going to happen. The play's already been called. They know exactly what they're doing. Make or miss. You know, they're going to need to understand, is it down 2 or down 3? If it is down 3, they're going to have to take that 3-point shot. In some ways, it makes it harder if he misses, because 1.2 going full court is a real challenge.
Harris has 2 free throws, with West Virginia now in the double bonus, missing the first.
It's worth considering missing this now. If you're West Virginia, you don't want them to be able to pass full court. If they have to catch it off a miss, you're in a much better situation.
Instead, Buck Harris sinks it. 2-point game, last gasp. Gabe Madsen on his senior night, it's blocked, and the game is over. West Virginia had to sweat it out, but maybe, just maybe, they won't sweat out Selection Sunday now, as they add to their tournament resume with a quad 1 win on the road. It certainly didn't come easy, but West Virginia prevails 71-69.
The NCAA tournament has not started yet, but March Madness has. What a game, what a finish.
And Josh Eilert embracing members of West Virginia again. Interim coach, second straight year, last year with the Mountaineers, now with the Utes at the end of the season. And yeah, this game was blood-soaked because of Eduardo Andre. Back to Gabe Madsen, final look.
So really good defense. I love this scenario, what West Virginia did. You didn't let Gabe Madsen go to his right hand. It's really hard to shoot that shot against your body, even if it's not a block shot.
Yesufu got the hand on it. Javon Small, brilliant as always. 18 points, 7 assists. One of 4 Mountaineers in double figures. West Virginia finding the balance that they need if they're going to reach any kind of ceiling the rest of this month. And they knock off Utah and spoil the Utes senior night. Gabe Madsen ends up with 23 for the Utes to lead all scorers. What a game.
What a game. I mean, Jamal Small, he's Small is the real deal. He can do it all. He has so much on his shoulders, and he just produces every night. Unbelievable backdoor cut and athleticism, and he does it all. He screens, he passes, he shoots threes, he gets to the paint. He is an all-conference player, there's no question.
That'll do it here from Salt Lake City for Jared Haas and our entire crew. Ted Emmerich saying so long. West Virginia, big win on the road.